Welcome everybody to Fandom Nights,
Hit the whoa.
where we break down pop culture one fandom at a time. I'm Chris.
I'm Dustin.
And I'm Sherman.
I was like, what are you doing?
Did you see what I did? I tossed the ball up, and then I waited. All right.
Today we're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 2, Chepisode 6, The Blind Bandit. I'm getting so good at that, and I love it. This was released on May 5th, 2006. And
The day after Star Wars Day.
Day after Star Wars Day. Dustin,
Hey-o.
take us through a little bit of the story.
We're kind of switching it up here. We're not doing a full, in-depth, long, sleepy synopsis. It's going to be just the main...
We've heard your comments, and...
We heard your hate.
Not hate, but yeah.
We've heard your constructive criticism.
There you go. That's
Thank
a good
you.
one.
Jinx, Tokyo, Minnesota.
I'm supposed to talk, though. Okay, go.
Sucks to you. Alright. So the first point I got during this, it opens up with Aang. They get to this town. Do you know what the name of the town was that they're in?
I don't actually.
I
didn't catch that.
Write it up. But go ahead.
He's looking it up. I'll continue on. So they get to this town and they're looking for an earthbending master, and it seems like every town they go to, the first thing they go to is the market.
Gowling.
Gowling.
Because they went from the Kyoshi Island to Gowling, and that's where they see the Blind Bandit. Yeah.
Okay. And so he tries this renowned Master Yu of this town of
Gowling.
And he has this bending class, and he goes in there and he's teaching like with a bunch of like little kids, and the teacher's just like, send the boulder at him, and then just Aang gets just knocked out by the boulder, and he's like, this isn't for me. And so the next point I got is...
Well, he looks like a master earthbender, but then he's just like a profiteering teacher, you know.
And he's
Come
like,
join my class.
He's like, if you sign up for the whole year,
Yeah.
I'll bump you up a belt.
Just like, I feel dirty even being in this class.
This is not true.
Also,
not
how is
true.
it a beginner's class and he's like, now punch it through your enemy's face? I'm like,
dude, there's tons of martial arts studios do that. There's a whole like subreddit devoted to like fake martial arts people and how they just like screw over people and do all this weird stuff. It's a whole thing where like martial arts studios are some of them, not all of them.
Cobra Kai?
There's a lot of them that are just complete BS and just I don't know.
I'm kidding.
It gets dark. Anyways, that's the vibe I got from Master Yu.
Interesting. Yeah, he seems like just a rip-off kind of guy.
Yeah.
So after they leave Master Yu's class, they discover this tournament, and it's called the Earth Rumble 6 tournament.
Oh yeah, I didn't write that down. I was like, what is it called?
Yeah. Earth Rumble 6. What do you think the 6 stands for? Why is it...
year that it's been going
Or
on.
the 6th championship?
Yeah.
Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. That's the easiest explanation.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well,
like the easiest...
I don't know. Why is it called...
Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the second.
I'm looking all over your pic.
I know, I can't see a movie.
Where's the movie?
What's a sequel movie?
I can't see a
4.
sequel over here.
Okay, so then after this, Katara and the gang, they run into some... I think people are trying to steal their money or steal something or whatever.
It's those earthbending kids from the class, right? Or am I thinking of something else?
Maybe it was the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Oh yeah, because
they
were talking about
the Earth Rumble 6 match.
Yeah,
and so he was like, I have my ways, like I can get the information out of them. You think like Katara's like flirting with the two guys, and then it cuts to a shot.
a woman
behind
has
the
her
ally,
ways,
and the two kids are just like frozen, feet first, like on the wall, heading straight out, and just frozen. They're just like, help.
Which, those are the only two, and I counted it as 2 instances of waterbending in this episode. I almost counted it
What
as
did
4.
you do it the one time?
I know. Well, I almost counted it as 4 because she brought the water up and then froze it. But I'm like, she probably did that at the same time, up and then freezing it. We have always said that if there's 2 different things that they're doing with the bending, it's 2. So that's just our standard. So yeah, anyways.
Once again, this is where Scott Melville comes in for a random voice actor. He's one of the kids.
Scott Melville, which one was he again?
Robin from Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah, you brought him up a bunch of times.
He's in this show so many times.
That's nice. Okay, so we go to Rumble in the Jungle. No, Earth Rumble in the Jungle. Earth Rumble
6.
Earth Rumble 6 in the jungle.
No jungle.
And the first,
Just the Rumble.
Although I totally picture George Foreman as like an earthbender.
Yeah.
He's like, let's go.
On the side trying to sell you a grill.
So the first match
Or would he be a firebender and Muhammad Ali is an earthbender?
I feel like Muhammad Ali would be an airbender. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Oh, I
both of them are
suppose.
air things.
And I'm saying George Foreman would have to be a firebender because he's all about grilling.
I was like, no, I feel like he's an earthbender, but now that you say that, he's definitely a firebender.
That makes the most logical sense.
Logical sense.
Sorry.
Mike Tyson, he would be the earthbender.
Oh, absolutely.
Who would be the waterbender? I don't know.
Evander Holyfield, I guess. I don't know.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. There you go. Well, he's more. Anyways, the first match in the fictional universe of Avatar is Boulder versus the Hippo.
The big bad hippo.
The big bad hippo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he's called.
Yeah.
Okay, I just put Boulder versus Hippo.
I don't know. The
big-
big bad.
I think
Bad
like afterwards, like he's just probably called Hippo, but like
He
you're
was
gonna have
big
that
and
like
bad.
showmanship.
Yeah. Hey, Hippo. We just watched Uncle Buck and what?
Okay.
This
ties right in.
Speaking of nicknames in the show, the kids call him Uncle Buck. Then they're like, "Oh, UB," and for Uncle Buck, and then they're like, "UB," like that's just his name for the rest of the movie. And I'm like, "Oh, that's so cute." So he's hippie in this show. Nothing. Crickets. Okay.
So the next match. So Boulder wins that match between the hippo, right? They do.
Yes. Yep. Boulder wins.
He
all
just
of them.
he just wins like
He wins the whole
7 straight
Yeah.
matches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sokka, absolutely.
He's having the time of his life.
Yes. He's like WWE fan, just in the stand, just like yes,
I loved like the intro to that because Katara's just like, oh, so it's just gonna be a bunch of guys hitting each other, and Aang's like, all right, yeah, I guess, and Sokka's like, yeah,
let's do it.
And the Boulder, man, this is the guy that I thought sounded exactly like Nick Cage. The Boulder doesn't like this.
Do you know who voices him?
No.
Mick Foley. He's an actual wrestler.
Thank you.
Whoa.
I knew I recognized that voice.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mick Foley was the okay. So
He
you might
does
remember
He
this.
does the voice of the Boulder, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he used to be the guy who had like a mask on during like WWF. I can't remember the guy's name. Dude, I never got into wrestling. Okay.
Sorry, me and my mom are huge wrestling nerds.
What was his name?
Huh?
What was his name?
The animal.
The Animal?
Yes.
Oh, wow, you knew that. I didn't have to look it up.
No.
Human Google right here as far as WWE is concerned.
Just kidding, it's not the animal.
Oh, it's not?
It's called a manimal.
A manimal?
The manimal.
The Manible.
There you
Man, talk about confusing things.
Yes.
Rumble in the Jungle with the Manible. Anyways.
He also had one other alter ego too.
What?
I forgot what it was though.
Okay.
I know he had 3. Is it the manimal, right?
The next battle is the Boulder versus Fire Nation Man.
That's real original.
Yeah.
Fire Nation Man.
What's the term for Fire Nation Man in this? The heel or whatever is what you're supposed to be. There's like the hero and the heel or something in wrestling, where like The Rock was always the heel and then he became the wrestling term. You don't know what I'm talking about? I feel like you know what I'm
heel, I
talking.
think of like a dog command.
Isn't it
Heel?
Isn't that what it was? There's some term for like the bad guy in wrestling.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The bad guy.
Anyways,
The bad guy, probably.
yeah. What's the
antagonist?
The antagonist, yeah.
Mankind.
Oh, thank you. I know it's like something close to the Manimal. Who's the Manimal? That's a superhero, isn't it?
I don't know.
Where have I heard the Manimal before? I don't know. Either way.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go back to Avatar, right? So after Fire Nation Man, the Boulder still wins, and then
Yep, Boulder wins.
then we have
Boulder
the
always
championship
wins.
match versus the Blind Bandit. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we get to see the Blind Bandit finally, who's the name of this episode.
So the montage of like losses up to this point, I love how like what's up with like the luchador mask guy.
Oh, I also want to point out too how formal the Boulder is. He's like, "I will now destroy you with my earthbending." Like he's just like, it says everything before he does it. He's just super polite and formal about it. He's like, "I accept your challenge."
And he's that audio has been so like it was trending on TikTok for a while.
Oh.
When he's like, the boulder feels conflicted about
that's what it is.
harming a small blind girl.
The boulder no longer feels his conflicted emotions. So, in professional wrestling, a heel is a wrestler who portrays a villain or bad guy. And then in professional wrestling, a face is a heroic or quote-unquote good guy wrestler. So it's a heel or face. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, they don't use those terms anymore. That's like from the 1800s.
During professional wrestling's heyday.
Yeah, during its heyday. So Boulder versus the Blind Bandit. And then after Boulder versus the Blind Bandit, we get the Blind Bandit versus Aang, the Avatar.
How cool was that, like, finishing move on the boulder, though, when she just, like,
whoosh. Dude, the Boulder versus the Blind Bandit just totally reminded me of Brad Pitt and Troy. Where, like, bring out Achilles, and everyone's, like, cheering, and he just runs up and goes, and just kills him right away.
Yeah!
It's like the Blind Bandit just does, like, one little move here, and then takes him out.
When they bring out that, like, huge guy who's like, oh, yeah, this is our strongest fighter.
Yeah, bring out your
and he's just, like,
fighter.
half woken up.
Yeah.
And he's like, alright, I guess.
He's, like, hungover, and he's just like...
Is anyone else next?
Yeah.
I am.
Aang versus Achilles.
Funny. So yeah, Aang is Earth Rumble 6 champion, and I think that goes too much unnoticed during his whole life.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is the Earth Rumble 6 champion.
Yeah. I never thought about
Think
that.
about that.
And he's never unseated because they
and
don't
he
go
didn't
back
even
to Earth Rumble
Earthbend.
6.
And he didn't even Earthbend.
Well, actually, I don't know if he is the Earth Rumble 6 champion because later on in this episode, what's his name? The main guy. He's like, he used Earthbending?
Jin
Or
Fu.
he used Airbending? He didn't use Earthbending, so he didn't follow the rules of Earth Rumble 6. So is he really
technical?
Also, I feel like this is like the start of pro bending. Yeah, in like Korra, where like they come up with rules because of stuff like this.
That's a good point.
Like, what do you mean he airbended?
Yeah. Huh. That's a good point. I never thought about that. This is we're watching the start. It's all connected. I put sand hitting with a question mark. Did something...
Oh, one of the benders was bending the sand and slapping people with it, essentially.
Oh.
During one of the matches, I think.
Oh, and I put 14 question mark because I'm like, is each one of them it? But he's bending the sand constantly. So is it one bending or is it 14? What do you think? I think it's kind of all one instance.
For
especially if the
what?
sand is constantly in the same rotation.
It was, yeah.
That's just one.
Yeah, that's what I think. Okay.
Katara has become a badass. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, right.
Just plain and simple throughout this episode. She's just kind of been.
Yeah, what does she say? Something Water Tribe.
No, that was Sokka.
Oh.
As he leaves, he's like, he throws up some gang signs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Water Tribe. That was just the best part of the whole.
But yeah, those guys wouldn't talk.
On what was your rating thing? Like the most memorable part of the show or this episode was Water Tribe.
Water Tribe.
Just whispers, just Water Tribe. with the blood sign.
But yeah, the Academy guys wouldn't say anything. So Katara, this is why Katara is a badass, because she literally just goes like,
yeah,
like ah,
yeah.
Ah!
Is that
It
also?
reminds me of Pineapple Express. Have you guys ever seen that
It's
movie?
been a while, but yeah.
Okay, so the two guys, they're like in the woods, and then James Franco just like doesn't see anything. But obviously they're like stoned as heck. But he doesn't see anything. All of a sudden he's just like, ah! He just starts running. And that's when they do the montage of them like running and like running into trees, and, like, hitting rocks in the face. But yeah, James Franco was just like, what was that? Oh my god! Just out of nothing.
So you counted this for waterbending though, right? Because like that's for this moment, because this is like Katara's making two guys pee themselves.
I did not count.
That's
I thought you were being serious.
No, of course I'm not being serious.
We said tears are not water bending. So, I'm taking it way too literally. Water Tribe.
Oh,
Okay.
So, yeah, Sokka, Water Tribe. That was my next note. So then after, Aang and Toph, they get taken together. This is their first vacation together. I mean, not their will, but you know.
I like how she just it was actually during the fight, I think, but she starts calling him Twinkle Toes or whatever.
Right.
It just instantly just has that nickname for him. It's nice. I know.
I thought it was pretty cool too when it like flashed to Toph's dad. And he was like, "She's this delicate, like innocent, like helpless little girl, and like she like won't say nothing to nobody." And then it flashes to her when she's captured with Aang, like, "Come on, face me, you mother! Like I'll beat your ass! Come on, face me like a man!"
What did you pull? What did you come up here and I'll punch you in your face?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I put the boulder. The boulder was so formal with his language during this whole episode, as we talked about already. Toph earthbending in this fight, like her main fight. Remember when she fight everyone at the end when she fights all the contestants, and she was because they had still captured Aang or whatever. Like, we'll deliver him to the Fire Lord. And then Toph, being the savior, comes back and just kicks everyone.
This is the one where she shoots up all the dust or whatever, and she's like,
Walk, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
this is such a good scene. Like that's one of the best fight scenes so far, I think.
The best earthbender ever.
The only problem I had with this fight was, trust me, is the plausibility behind some of them. Because, like, so the guy with the luchador mask, he's down on all fours. He jumps up with 2 boulders in his hands and then throws them. So, like...
Why is that implausible?
Because she catches them.
Okay.
Why is that implausible?
She's actually blind.
Yeah.
So, like, she has a hard time with things that aren't touching the ground. That's why, like, she had a hard time fighting Aang in the first time.
But as a bender, you can kind of... I feel like you'd be able to feel the things that you bend around you. She couldn't detect Aang because he's a human just by himself. But if there's earth involved, if Aang was carrying a big rock, she'd know where the rock is because she can feel the earth. I feel like I don't know. I never thought about that. That's a good.
That was
the earth that's connected to her feet.
Yeah.
Well, and that's because that's how she sees is when like.
Well, how about you can assume that when he rips out the boulders that she felt he took out 2
but the question is, how does she catch both of them and then throw them back? Like, if you're actually blind, how would you be able to see that?
How does the Force exist? How does the lightsaber exist? How does Captain America's shield exist?
He's saying in the laws of the universe, but I do get that it's a gray area, but I feel like a waterbender can sense water around them, or an earthbender can sense earth around them. They don't even have to be touching it. She can't hear the people or what they're doing. Like when she gets hit with a stick or something, she's like, because at the end of the episode, doesn't someone throw something down to her? She's like, ow!
She gets hit with the belt.
Yeah. It's a belt, so it's like
made of metal.
Earth. Yeah,
that she can't bend yet.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. It is a gray area, but I don't think it's...
That was my only problem with the...
Michael DiMartino, we need you to comment on our video and let us know. Thank you. That's our call to action today. So after that, the next one I got here is... so when Toph is like fighting all those guys, even the renowned earthbending teacher, Master Yu, is like, she's the greatest earthbender I've ever seen.
He's all excited about it, too.
Yeah.
Just,
and
like,
her dad is just like... can't come to terms with it.
He seems like he's kind of cool with it. He's like, this is amazing. Like
he seems like he's cool with it, but he's also like scared too.
Yeah, like what is happening?
And then obviously at the end we find out that he's like 24-hour security.
You'll be on lockdown, guards, 24 hours a day.
Little girl.
He's like, I saw you beat up all. We might as well get to that because it's pretty.
That's where we are.
Yeah, but I saw you beat up every one of these Earth Rumble 6 competitors easily. You didn't even get hurt at all, and you're blind. And his first response is, I've been giving you too much freedom. Like, what? I don't know. I guess I get it, because he's a dad, and he's just trying to protect his little girl, and he's always seen her as vulnerable. But if you clearly, like, if Rhea all of a sudden just beat up some dude in front of me, I'd be like, we need to train you. And
you are 18 months and you know how to do this.
Right? But I mean, Toph is 12 years old.
You need some guidance and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of obviously it's written to be that, but it's just a jerk.
I mean, just think how terrible of a mother Ash Ketchum's mom is, letting a 10-year-old wander the whole world by himself.
I mean, there's theories behind that. Like, Professor Oak. Never mind.
Doing the mom.
What?
You've never heard that theory?
I've
Professor
never heard
Oak
that
sent Ash on to be a Pokemon trainer. Like, he's like, no, go travel the world at 10 years old.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to smash Ash's mom.
I've never heard that theory. Well, it kind of makes sense.
Please go on a journey. Don't come back for
I got a mission.
That's why he never returns home.
Okay.
Yeah, because he comes back.
And Oak is just constantly checking in with him just to make sure that he's away.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're not coming back? Okay, you're that far away?
Hold on,
Okay.
so we got more. We got
Oh, wait,
like
you're coming
2
back
more weeks.
home?
Time.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Just give me like...
No, your mom's fine. Don't
10,
even ask
15
about her.
minutes.
Okay. Wow, that changes things. Okay, so then...
The last note I got was Toph, at the very end, Toph's dad puts a bounty on Aang.
Yeah, well,
Because
so...
he kidnapped her.
Yeah, Aang and the gang leave, and then they're like, okay, I guess we're going to have to find another earthbending teacher, and then all of a sudden Toph shows up, hey, my dad changed his mind. And it's like...
Sokka understood what she meant, though.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, because he's like, why don't we leave before he changes his mind again?
Oh, well,
That was
maybe.
the line.
I guess I didn't read it that way. I just read it as... I don't know. You guys are believing her right now? Okay. All right, we're all cool with this? All right, whatever.
Well, right, that's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so that's the story. Dustin Sherman, do you got a... I don't think there was any creatures in this at
There
all.
was not a single
Nothing.
one, except for like the flying boar.
The
but,
Badger
like,
Mole, Zamboni.
Oh, yeah, the Bandit.
we've talked about badger moles
Yeah.
before, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not used as a Zamboni.
Also, this is the first time we've seen their tail.
Oh, good point. No, I think we saw them when they turned around and went back in the cave.
Yeah.
In the Cave of the Two Lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I think so.
The one where you guys have the best chemistry, apparently.
That's awkward. All right, so that's
you-
that. Let's talk
Go
about...
hide it.
I've
Did you
said
tell Rosie
I've
that?
said multiple times before, if I were ever gonna marry one of my friends, it would have to be Chris, because like we get along so well.
Anyways, let's talk about some bending
Have
numbers,
you told
guys.
Rosie this?
Oh, she knows.
Does she have anything to worry
Oh,
about?
she knows.
She knows about 19.
All
That's
right,
the
so this
real
episode
reason
was
I wasn't at the wedding.
This episode was very heavily earthbendy.
Oh.
There was 2 instances of
That's a word.
waterbending. That's it. There was 85 instances of earthbending, which I thought that there would be a lot more, but that's pretty high. I mean, the highest ones that we've seen
Yeah, 85
for
in 20 minutes.
I think firebending was like the highest number I think ever was like 103 firebending in one of the last episodes of book 1. So 85, that's high. Hopefully Earth makes a comeback here. Then there was no firebending, and then there was 7 of airbending. So yeah, that's that.
Interesting.
All right, so now everybody, we're going to move on to our rating segment, and I have a different format and a more organized way that I want to rate things instead of just I just picked this. So I came up.
That was priceless.
This is going to sound like a lot, but I kind of want to use this as a way to discuss things now and in the future, I guess. Where there's 9 points, and then we kind of rate it overall, and then based off of those 10 ratings, we get a good rating. Plus, we talk about the in-depth aspects of the show or movie or anything that we're talking about in general. So this is kind of a work in progress, and we're trying something new here, but hopefully we can use this as a template for the future of
Bring it on!
how to rate things and how to review things. So there's the plot, the performance, and the production. So let's go through each one of those, and there's 3 subcategories to each one. Anyways, the plot, the story arc of this episode. What would you rate the story arc 1 to 10
Of this episode,
of this episode? Yeah,
what?
the story arc. So an arc of a story is the exposition, so you're explaining stuff, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. How would you rate the story arc of this? This is the first time we're going through this, so I'll kind of blow through it, but I also want to sort of talk about it. So the story arc in this is Toph. Like, Toph is the story arc. There are other story arcs in this, but it's just kind of all about the blind bandit, Toph, in my opinion. Aang a little bit, but it's mostly just Toph's coming out of the closet moment.
Finding Toph.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it sets it up. It rises the action. There's a climax when Toph is fighting everybody. It falls. It's a pretty good arc. So I'd probably give it I'd probably give it an 8.
Honestly,
good
it's got
story arc.
It's got a mini hero's journey.
Yeah.
In this
Yeah.
episode.
Exactly. I would give it an 8. And with rating these, we have to give it a solid number because at the end it's a point number. So
I would
I'll
straight
do
up.
8.
I was gonna go 9.
9. Okay. Well, now how do we resolve that? I think we.
Why didn't you think of it, Chris?
I didn't.
You're
think
up
of
till
that.
3 a.m.
Should we just vote on it? I guess to rate
Average it.
Well, then there's a point in there.
That sucks to be the point.
All right.
Just-
so,
just put it
add
in
up
there.
all the
all right.
points.
We'll just put it in there. We'll add up.
We're
all the
doing a
points.
lot of math here, Phantom
So
Knights.
our individual ratings have to be a solid number though, just to keep it a little easier to.
That's
rate.
fine.
So
No, everything's going to be a 0.7.
8 point. We're running up, huh? You want to get closer to your 9, huh? No, I'm just kidding. All right, 8.7. Execution.
You didn't do the math on that?
No, 8.7.
Is it?
Yeah. It's 8.6666666.
Okay.
So, yeah. I did it in my head. I'm smart like that. All right, so story arc, really good story arc. The second part of the plot is the execution. So, like, the pacing, was there a vision for the series, for the episode, and was it entertaining, essentially? So, was the plot executed well?
Yes.
Yeah. How would you rate the execution of the plot?
9.
9? Okay.
Agreed.
9?
9.
I'd give it a 9 as well. So 9. Keep it simple. Then the plot, the writing. So the characters, was it plausible within the universe? And was it original? It was definitely original.
Yes.
I mean, they took it from Toph was going to be a big muscly guy, and they made it into a blind girl.
Again,
and that's original.
All the details are original, but the concept is.
Yeah, I mean, Daredevil exists, so yeah, it's not a.
Well, I mean, it's a miniature hero's journey, so anything that has the hero's journey would be similar to the story,
right,
in certain ways.
So the writing of, I didn't see any like weird writing. Nothing like stood out. Like they wouldn't say that, or that was badly written. Even things like the boulder being so ridiculous, it just made it more fun.
Oh yeah.
You know?
No, this was 100% plausible.
Yeah. So the writing in general, what would you guys rate that?
Writing, I'd give it a 10.
A 10. Oh wow.
I mean, it was perfectly written.
Yeah. Dustin?
I'll do a 9.
9?
Yeah.
I don't think it was perfect, so I'm going to say 9 as well.
What would be perfect?
I don't know. There's other things that are more perfect that written than this, in my opinion. I don't know. This is really good. I honestly think 9's a little high. I would honestly go 8. Actually, I'm going to do that. 8.
Because I can do that.
Because I can. So that averages the 9. Perfect. Performance. All right. So this one we didn't have this when we were going through it, so we didn't.
Oh, jeez, that's serious.
We didn't really analyze it too much, but the performance. One, the delivery of the lines. So how the actors delivered everything, and with animation, we also have to take into account the. Well, we'll talk about that in the next one. But the delivery, was it effective, emotional, and again plausible within the universe?
Yes.
I gotta stop asking it as a question.
How
would you rate the delivery in this?
Good.
One thumb up.
Yes.
Anyways, maybe this is the boring part of the episode. Well,
see, I like this better as a structure to go through.
Yeah,
but,
maybe. We'll try it. We'll try it that way. But so delivery, the performance delivery. I would give this maybe 7 or 8 because it wasn't like mind blowing. There was no like crazy emotional moments. I guess Toph had some good ones with her dad and stuff.
Like that tear towards the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on.
Yeah, I'd rate this as an 8 because what? You said 9?
No, I said I almost started crying when I saw Toph grab it. I was joking.
I'd rate this as an 8 because there was nothing that like made me like hit me in the feels or anything or like. I don't know. It was really well
Zuko
done.
getting it, or Sokka getting a new bag didn't like bring you to tears.
Goes so well with my belt. I'm really glad I got
He's
this.
such a fashionable man.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I like the whole beginning part where he's just debating on whether you should get the bag. He's like, "No, I shouldn't. Oh, I'm gonna get it. No, I shouldn't." And then finally he gets it, and it's like, man, we've all been there. We've all almost bought something and then didn't, then went back and bought it and just kind of felt guilty about it. But then it all works out when you get your belt.
Yeah, I would say anytime I spend an absurd amount of money on Star Wars stuff on Amazon, I am just like, I am ashamed of myself. But then it goes away instantaneously.
Next time you buy something else.
Right.
All right,
It
so
was good.
delivery, I'm going to say 8. Dustin?
Same. 8.
Yeah, I'll go with an 8.
8, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The action in this one. And so when I say action, it doesn't necessarily have to be like action. It can just be them. Because there's going to be things that we review that are like just people sitting in a room like this. Or
I want to use this. I want to use this to review
our videos.
No. To review Tuesdays with Maury.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
The entire movie is like an afternoon like meal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting, actually. But again, the actions don't have to be like a huge jumping off a building thing. It can literally be like someone like moving something out of it. Can be a little action, but the actions in the series.
I think all of the action in this episode was great.
Oh yeah.
Like
I would give this the action
10.
And again, it doesn't have to be like fighting action in something that doesn't have fighting in it, but the action and the way they moved around the screen on this was 10. 10 all around.
10.
All right, so then the performance believability. Did the actors make you? Oh, sorry.
I want him to read the questions, and you and I have like actual like signs like scoreboards.
That would be funny.
Hold on.
Let's get a couple whiteboards.
So again, as with the performance, the believability of the performance. Did anything feel out of place? Like like the Boulder read his line, and I didn't really think he was the Boulder in that situation. Earlier. What?
Toph being able to catch those rocks.
That like plausibility on that.
That's more in the plot and the writing, because that's the plausibility of that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, did the characters make you believe that they're the characters? This is a little more overanalyzed for a kids show, but
you're doing.
I think the only thing that bugged me about this episode for that was like when her dad towards the end was like, "Oh no, I totally agree," but like. Yeah. It just seems like, I feel like if you were going to be that strict about having her under like lock and key, like you'd be like more upfront about it. You wouldn't like sit and listen. You'd be like, you're going to be in there. You're going to be in your room for the next 18 years.
Yeah. I guess. Underneath believability is character development. Because and I put that kind of in there because the whole series, Aang goes from a little boy to like
a slightly older little boy.
I was gonna say man, but that's not the truth. He's not a man. He's
I am
12.
13 now. Thank you.
And it's also the voice actor. He grows up while it happens, but everything about his performance grows in it. And there's certain episodes where that happens specifically. So character development, presence. Did they like inhabit the role, and then did they interpret anything? So I'd give it a 9. Just they did really well. Nothing stood out.
I don't think anybody did a bad job.
No, I think everything was good.
Do you think like Aang's voice actor, like once he started going through puberty, do you think the execs had to like kick him in the nuts every time before he had?
No, they probably used like some like tuning.
It worked though because it was a pretty short run, and he grew up in this. So Aang grew up in it too.
Yeah, but I mean, like going from like an actual like he was actually 12 when he started the voice of Aang, versus like. All right, well, you're probably, what, like 15 by the time it's done? Because it was 3 years or so? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know about you. I hit puberty in 6th grade.
I'm still waiting.
Says the guy with a beard.
I was saying, my uncles haven't told me when it's going to start, so I'm kind of waiting.
Like, I mean, I had, like, the highest singing voice in choir in 6th grade. Until Christmas. Whoa. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, trust me, that was a great Christmas gift. Like we're practicing after the Christmas break. No, we were doing like the bars at the beginning of like choir one day, and our teacher was literally like, "Come on, Sherman, I know you can hit these notes," and she's going like super high on the piano, and I'm like, "I swear I can't hit these anymore.
I can't hit these anymore.
I've never climbed a fence that high."
All right, so I'm just gonna say 9. It was good. I'm probably gonna.
I don't see anybody like doing poorly on this job.
For the future, I'm probably just gonna say believability 9, unless something's really great or really noticeable. Bad, so it's probably just gonna be 9. We don't have to go this in depth on all of them, but yeah. What do you guys say?
I'll do a W.
A dub.
9. Okay, Sharon.
Cross the board, I guess.
Okay, across the board.
Maybe a smiley face.
Then production. Now this one's gonna be a little weird for the animation things that we do, but the production value. The sounds, the visuals, and the effects. So the sounds, the score in this one, nothing really stood out to me is really great. So the score, the sound effects, and then the mix, it was all good across the board. I didn't notice anything good or bad. It was just great. See? Yeah. So, again, I'm just going to say 9. Could be better.
It's a C
horrible. A 9 is an A.
A 9's an A.
I was saying I was giving that all a C because it's all going to be generally the same throughout the whole story.
That's a good point, actually. Maybe we should say 7 for things that are just in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, so 7. Okay.
Because 9 is like, this is outstanding.
This is almost perfect, yeah.
Because that's a lot of this is going to be roughly the same throughout the whole series.
Right.
It's going to be the same animation style, use a lot of the same music and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it really only changes when you get like those
there's a couple things that I do notice.
moments.
Like on the next episode, I want to talk about it, but in this one, it was just 7, I guess, passing grade. Good.
Yeah.
Good with that.
I'm good with that.
7 visuals. This one, in a live action one, is going to be different than in an animation. But in animation, was it? How was the framing, the camera motion, the editing, in the visuals of it? I think this was a solid 10. This was, I mean, with the earthbending and everything that happened with it, and this is the first time that we really see the earthbending, like, echolocation thing. It's like, whoa, that's new.
Right.
So, this one, for sure, I'd give it 10, because it's just, it was visually entertaining to watch. You could have no sound on, and you'd be entertained watching this episode. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's how I feel.
I'd do a 10.
Yeah. And then the effects. This one's going to be weird for animation, but this, again, like I said, is the first one that had... And effects would be like visual effects or CGI or actual practical effects or the sets and the props. Again, animation is different because you can just draw whatever you want. But, again, with that echolocation thing added in there and everything like that, I would probably give this like a 9. Maybe not perfect, but it was pretty good.
I love all the little shots at like the side view of just like that. Little grins.
Yeah.
They did that like 20 times.
And when the two like earthbending students got frozen up, it was like an up angle, and like they always do fun things like that. So I don't know, it was good, but I don't think it was like perfect. So
I'll do an 8.
8, Sherman.
Yeah, 8 sounds. I was literally just thinking that.
Okay, I'll keep it 8. We'll just keep it simple. So Sherman, you want to add those up?
All of them.
Yes. Oh, and then at the end we got to overall rate it. So what would you overall rate this episode? I'm probably gonna say 9 for most Avatar episodes. What do you guys think?
78.7 divided by 10.
No, what would you overall rate the episode?
Oh, because we got to do those
we
extras.
We got to do 10. I'd do 9 for this one. This was a really good one. It wasn't a perfect episode, but maybe a 10. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'll do a 9.
9?
Introduction to Toph. It's pretty
Oh yeah, this episode is. I know, like you're super excited about the next episode. I like this episode better than the next episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Toph, personally.
Mm-hmm. So that's 87.7. So 8.8. 8.8 for this episode.
Did you know that Mike originally designed Toph to be a boy?
Yeah.
Who would become Aang's earthbending teacher.
Cool. Alright, so yeah, our rating of this episode, I know that was long. We don't have to go through all the detail every single time, but maybe on the next episode I don't know, maybe the next episode's not the one to do it on because it's going to be good, but it gives us an 8.8. The IMDb rated this a 9.2, so we're pretty well in there just based off of our average of all those things. So, yeah, that's this episode. Dustin, you want to take us out?
What?
Dustin, you want to take us out?
I'm not done yet.
Do you know the Boulder was also supposed to be originally voiced by Dwayne Johnson?
That's who they were trying to get cast for it.
Because it was supposed to mimic his character of The Rock.
Oh, the heel.
He wasn't really a villain.
He was a heel originally, and then he turned into a face. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So Toph was written to be the best earthbender in the world, and she did this style of southern praying mantis style earthbending.
Oh yeah, she has her hands up like that.
And then the origin of that kind of martial arts was actually started by a blind man.
Sherman. Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sherman.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. I did not know that. That was
The Avatar book.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
I had to go through the pictures before we were done. So I took pictures of the book for extra info for you guys.
That's good.
That was weird. Okay, let's end it. Bye, guys.
Cool.
All right. Thank you guys for watching this Chepisode of Fandom Nights. If you'd like to become a Fandom Knight, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. follow us on Instagram, join our Facebook group. Maybe I'll restart the Tinder. We'll see. TikTok is kind of there, kind of not. It kind of is. I don't know. Anyways, thank you for watching this episode. And Appa.
Yep.